Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now. Folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the most explosive rumors in the NFL this season. It's been flying under the radar for a little while, but now it's gaining serious traction among insiders and analysts. The rumor is about a potential trade that could shake not just the AFC North, but the entire landscape of the NFL. And it involves none other than Ja'Marr Chase, the dynamic wide receiver from the Cincinnati Bengals, making a shocking move to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, you heard that right. Chase, a player who has been making waves in Cincinnati, might be heading east to join the black and gold. And let me tell you, if this does happen, it could turn the Steelers into an offensive powerhouse that no one in the league will want to face. So how did we get here? Well, the Bengals, sitting at 3-5, are struggling this season. Joe Burrow, who's been their franchise quarterback, is dealing with injuries again, this time a shoulder issue that first popped up back in Week 4. It's been a tough year for Cincinnati, and the team is in a bit of a rebuild mode. They're looking to make some strategic moves to reset and come back stronger. According to some sources, the Bengals are considering trading Chase in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and a fourth-round pick in 2025 from the Steelers. Why would Cincinnati do that? Well, it's mainly about cap space. Reports suggest they could free up around $25 million in cap room, which is crucial for them to rebuild their offensive line and secondary after losing some key players and after extending Burrow's contract. The Bengals are prioritizing protecting their star quarterback and shoring up their defense, especially after their struggles this season. But what does this mean for the Steelers? Well, it's a game changer. Pittsburgh, currently sitting with a manageable cap space of around $22 million, would be adding a player who has been absolutely electric in 2025. Chase has been shining in 2025, with 62 receptions for 985 yards and 8 touchdowns through just 8 games. That's an eye-popping average of 123 yards per game, folks. It's the kind of production that can turn a struggling offense into one of the most dangerous units in the league. And Chase's advanced stats, they're equally impressive. A PFF grade of 91. 8, which puts him among the top wide receivers in the NFL. His yards after catch average, 5.2 yards per reception, showing how versatile and explosive he is after catching the ball. Sure, he's had some drops with a drop rate of 3-4%, and he suffered a knee injury in Week 6, but the potential for him to be a game changer is undeniable. Let's talk about his career for a second because this isn't just a flash in the pan. Chase has accumulated 315 receptions for 800 yards and 42 touchdowns so far. He's been a reliable target, and his EPA per target sits at 0.45, which indicates that he consistently gains a significant advantage in the passing game. Interestingly, Chase has outperformed his teammate T. Higgins in routes run, showing that he's not just a deep threat but a versatile receiver capable of winning at all levels of the field. Now, if the Steelers land Chase, they could be looking at a transformation on offense that could resemble the kind of boost we've seen with teams like the Dolphins this year. Remember how Tyreek Hill's addition elevated Miami's passing yardage? Well, Chase could do the same for Pittsburgh. Analysts are projecting that, with Chase on the field, the Steelers could see their passing yards skyrocket to around 300 yards, a substantial increase that could turn them into one of the top aerial offenses in the league. And this would come at a perfect time, as the Steelers are already showing signs of improvement on offense, especially with players like Kenny Pickett developing chemistry with his receivers. Speaking of the quarterback, Kenny Pickett's growth this season has been promising. He's been improving in his decision-making and accuracy, and having a receiver like Chase would give him a safety valve that defenses would have to respect at all times. Chase's ability to gain 4 yards per route run compared to the current WR's average of about 1.8 yards would open up the field dramatically. This would force defenses to adjust, and that's where the magic happens, widening the field for Warren, who's already been running effectively with an average of 4.1 yards per carry. The impact of adding Chase doesn't stop there. The offense would see a bump from around 22 points per game to nearly 27, reminiscent of the Eagles' offensive surge last season. It's a significant leap, and it's exactly what the Steelers need to become serious contenders again. Plus, with Chase's ability to stretch the field and make big plays, the team's odds of winning in the playoffs would increase substantially. Bookmakers have already moved the Steelers' Super Bowl odds from plus 1,500 to plus 700, reflecting the belief that this move could make them real contenders, especially with Chase as a key piece. From a defensive perspective, this move also has implications. The AFC is becoming more competitive, with teams like the Ravens and Browns always lurking. But if the Steelers can elevate their offense with Chase, it will take some pressure off their defense and give them a better chance to control games. And there's a lot of talk about how this could cement Pittsburgh's position as the top team in the AFC, echoing what Cincinnati has managed to do in recent years. The Steelers' history of building around a strong defense combined with explosive offensive weapons has always been a recipe for success, and adding Chase could be the missing piece to finally bring them back to Super Bowl glory. Now, looking at the division rivals, Cincinnati's potential rebuild and the Steelers' aggressive move to acquire Chase could set the stage for a fierce rivalry in the coming years. The Bengals, with cap space of around $18 million, are prioritizing protecting Burrow and rebuilding their roster, but losing a talent like Chase would be a blow. Meanwhile, the Steelers could be on the verge of a renaissance, with Chase providing that big play threat that can change the course of a game in an instant. Imagine a scenario where Pickett connects with Chase deep down the field, turning a potential 3rd and long into a touchdown, shifting momentum and energizing the entire team. And it's not just about the immediate impact. Long-term, Chase's presence would help the Steelers attract even more talent, drawing defenses away from other receivers and opening opportunities for Warren and the other skilled players. Plus, it would send a message across the league that the Steelers are serious about contending and aren't afraid to make bold moves. It's reminiscent of the kind of shakeups we saw in past NFL seasons, where a single trade or signing can redefine a team's trajectory for years to come. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Is this just rumor or possibility? Well, it's true that nothing is set in stone yet, but the signs point to a real possibility. The Bengals' cap situation, their desire to rebuild, and the Steelers' need for a game-changing receiver all align in a way that makes this scenario plausible. Plus, the NFL trade deadline is always a hot time for surprises, and if this happens, it will undoubtedly be one of the biggest stories of the year. So what does this mean for the Steelers fans? It's a future where your team could be walking into the playoffs with one of the most explosive wideouts in the league, a player capable of taking over games and elevating everyone around him. Kenny Pickett would have a true #1 receiver to throw to, and that chemistry could develop quickly, especially considering Chase's impressive route running and yards after catch. The Steelers' offense, which has been improving steadily, could finally reach that next level, making every game more exciting and every game plan more dangerous. And for the division, it's a wake-up call. The Bengals are not sitting idly by, they're making moves, and if Pittsburgh pulls this off, it could signal that the AFC North is about to become even more competitive than ever. The Steelers have always been a team that values defense and a strong running game, but in today's NFL, having a true game-breaking receiver is almost non-negotiable. Chase could be that piece that turns Pittsburgh into one of the league's most feared offensive units, and that's exactly the kind of shift we've been waiting for. Now, of course, there are questions. Will Cincinnati really trade Chase? Can the Steelers afford to give up that much draft capital? And how will Chase fit into the offensive scheme? All valid questions, but the potential rewards are enormous. If this move happens, it will be a game changer, not just for the Steelers, but for the entire AFC landscape. It's a bold move, a statement that Pittsburgh is serious about returning to Super Bowl glory, and it could redefine how the team approaches future seasons. So, Steelers fans, keep your eyes peeled because the NFL world is buzzing about this possibility. It's the kind of move that could set off a chain reaction, leading to a more competitive, more exciting AFC North and a Steelers team that finally looks ready to make a deep playoff run. This is the kind of offseason story that fans will be talking about for years. Whether it materializes or not, one thing is clear. The Steelers are positioning themselves for something big, and Chase might just be the missing link that pushes them over the edge. The coming weeks will be critical, and I'll be here to bring you all the latest updates, analysis, and everything you need to know about the black and gold. Stay tuned because the NFL is never short of surprises, and this could be one of the biggest yet. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Chase will be wearing the black and gold soon? How do you see this impacting the team's chances for a Super Bowl run? Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers, and I can't wait to read what you have to say. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, more news, and all the latest from the Steelers universe, so stay tuned. The future is bright, and it might just be about to get a whole lot more exciting. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Steelers.